Hello, this is part 3 of a 3-part series on cholesterol, high blood pressure, and diabetes. So, part 3 is about diabetes. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, please do so, as it will put the picture for you in perspective, as they are all related in some way. Okay, so just briefly, in part 1, we discussed cholesterol. Cholesterol is there because there is inflammation in the blood vessels. Part 2, there is high blood pressure because the blood is thick with triglycerides, which is blood fats, and the space through which the blood must flow now is lessened by the cholesterol plaques that formed because of the inflammation, and hence the blood pressure rises. Now we talk about diabetes. I'm Dr. D. I'm a herbalist and a traditional healthcare practitioner at PH Matters and GK Herbals in the Pretoria CBD, where I can be reached for consultations on health matters and herbal medication. Right, so diabetes is something that once you are diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, which is the most common type of diabetes, which we will be discussing. Once you're diagnosed, it means that your body has now reached a stage where it is really showing you that what you have been doing through your diet is unacceptable. Because of diet, we have thicker blood. Because of the thicker blood, we have inflammation that causes cholesterol. Because of that, we have high blood pressure. And now, usually, the third chronic disease that people suffer from is diabetes. Okay. It again starts and all originates from what you put in your mouth, the food you eat. Here in South Africa, people are eating a hell of a lot of starch, pap, bread, vetkoek, magwinya, deep fried foods, Russian chips, fish, all those things that are actually toxic to the body. But in terms of diabetes, for type 2 diabetics, there are mainly two causes for becoming a type 2 diabetic. Both of them is an internal process that happens at cellular level. The first one is the food you eat creates too much glucose in the blood. This glucose is then signaled to the pancreas, or the level of glucose is signaled. The pancreas now secretes insulin, which is like a key for a lock of the cell door. So insulin opens the door so glucose can go into the cell and be used for energy. If there is an excess of sugar in the blood, the pancreas will secrete more insulin, trying to get it down. Your kidneys will try and get rid of blood sugar through the urine. That's why diabetics usually have a dry mouth and urinate frequently. It's because the body is trying to lower blood sugar. Okay, from the diet. So what then happens is the pancreas can eventually become exhausted to a point where too little insulin is made for the amount of sugar in the blood, or inflammation has damaged the receptors, or blood fats or blood glucose or insulin itself have damaged the cell receptors, so that you are now what they call insulin resistant. And that is where diabetes starts. It starts with insulin resistance. It actually starts with a fatty liver. The liver becomes congested with fat, cannot process the foods that you eat properly. Too much fats in the blood, too much sugar or glucose in the blood, that causes damage. Damage. And if you looked at the other videos or watched them, you would know by now that damage causes inflammation. And inflammation causes a temporary reduction in function or total malfunction of a bodily system. So if you want to cure, reverse your diabetes, you have to look at what you eat. If you do not eat sugar producing foods, why would your sugar be high? The medication that you are on, metformin, glucophage, and there's a whole lot of other ones that I don't even know, or even if you are using insulin sub or next to one of the other pills, it means you are in an advanced stage of malfunction. Your body is actually malfunctioning. That's the bottom line. But the good news, it can be fixed. It can be fixed. It's never too late to turn yourself around and create the environment in your body by which healing can take place. Your body is a sophisticated mechanism of processes, and one of them is healing. Your body can heal anything. If you cut your finger and you put a plaster on it and you leave it for a week, you don't even know that you've cut your finger. Same thing happens on the inside at cellular level. You damage the cells. You create the environment in which they are not continuously being damaged, and healing will take place. So I will do another video on diabetics and their diet to explain in more detail how it works or what they should eat. But please understand that if you are a diabetic and you are still consuming any glucose producing foods, you are killing yourself. You are poisoning yourself. Your body has reached a stage where it cannot handle this any longer. The medication, yes, helps, but it's a crutch. You need to walk on your own without a crutch, and it's quite possible and quite attainable. And I don't really care what dietitians say about eating low GI bread or eating oats or eating sorghum, mabele meal or porridge. I have seen with physical readings how those things still spike blood sugar. Until such time as your body has had ample opportunity to heal, avoid eating starch. It's as simple as that. The replacement for starch in a plate of food is a healthy fat, like coconut oil or olive oil. And our time is up.